All right, let's get to the fallout over the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank. Reports say that the White House may soon call for tougher regulations on mid-size institutions. Joining us right now is former Federal Reserve Governor Daniel Tarullo. Dan, of course, is also the former oversight governor in charge of supervision and regulation of the banks and was responsible for implementing Dodd-Frank. So, Dan, tell us what went wrong here. What happened?
Well, Becky, I think the one thing we know is that there was a supervisory failure. We don't know yet how much of that was due to the message from Washington that was going out to the supervisors around the country. That is the sort of the light touch, require a higher threshold before you push hard on the banks. But somewhere along the line, there was definitely a supervisory failure. The question that many members of Congress have raised in the last couple of days is whether there was also a regulatory shortfall. And I think as you all were just reporting, that's what the White House appears to be about to address.
Did deregulation have any impact on this? Because we had a conversation with Congressman French Hill earlier today. It feels like there's a lot of places you could lay some blame. I don't know if the deregulation of some of the Dodd-Frank laws would have actually changed anything, just because even if Silicon Valley Bank was exposed to the stress test wasn't really calibrated for what's happening now, higher interest rates instead of lower interest rates.
Yeah, that's absolutely right, Becky. I mean, I think it was, look, I think one thing we did learn, if we didn't know it already, was that the premise of that 2018 legislation, which is that the mid-sized banks as a group are not systemically important, was misplaced. And we saw that rather graphically a couple of weeks ago. You are absolutely right about the stress test. I mean, even if Silicon Valley had been in the stress test for real last year rather than their dress rehearsal, with the scenario, I think they would have come out just fine. But what does that point us to? That points us to the fact that the stress test has become a compliance exercise. It's become eminently predictable. And you know, Becky, I would be surprised if there hadn't been some voices in the Fed over the last several years saying we need to be testing for increased interest rates. But just as supervision generally, I think the stress test has just weakened over the years.
Whose fault is that, Dan? I'm just trying to think of solutions. How do we fix this? You need more regulation? You need a tougher message coming from Washington that they need to take these rules and regulations very seriously?
Well, for sure on supervision, I think. And, you know, this is hard because supervision is not something that is written into the legislation in the sense of you should be 90% tough or 60% tough. It's just a function which Congress gave to the regulators. I do think, though, that a stress test that involved every bank over $100 billion every year with multiple scenarios would help. But, Becky, there's another point here which comes up every once in a while. The business model of these mid-sized regionals, you know, between, I'd say, 50 and 250 billion, is under a lot of strain, I think. You know, we've known about community bank business model challenges for quite some time now, but I think we're seeing that the importance of scale has had its effect on these mid-sized regionals. So as we go forward and as we think about what kind of regulations would be directed at the mid-size banks, I think it's really important to make sure that the additional regulation is targeted to actual vulnerabilities. Because if you keep layering on GSIB-type regulation, those banks are going to have an even tougher business model to face. So absolutely, got to make sure that they are insulated from their vulnerabilities. But I wouldn't jump to the other side of the room and say, well, let's just import everything we've been doing for the GSIBs.